So it's confirmed that teammates love playing with Caitlin Clark, and they don't really have the locker room problems, which Sheryl Swoopes tried to assume and make up, which isn't true whatsoever. I just find it comical at this point how other players are trying to reach for things that don't exist. I haven't seen any issues with the Fever all year long. I'm not saying it's been perfect. I'm sure there's been some conversations about Chrissy Sides and how she's coached at times. I'm sure players have sat down with her. But when it comes to Nalyssa Smith, Caitlin Clark, Aaliyah Boston, Kelsey Mitchell, and the list goes on. I'm not seeing them on Twitter making weird tweets or cryptic things about the team, not calling out teammates publicly. They've just been professional all year long. But for Sheryl Swoopes to have this opinion and not have any facts is just another example of her hate towards Caitlin Clark. I think Sheryl Swoopes is more of that hater of Skip Bayless and Shaq combined, where she's just never going to give Caitlin Clark credit and she appreciates the way things were done back in her day when it came to playing basketball. She's never going to value this era more than the era she was in. So let's just play this quick soundbite from Nalyssa Smith.
It's huge. Just this is what we've been hoping for forever. So, it's fun to play in front of these games. Like it never you never get used to it. Just always showing up and playing in front of sold out crowds. And I mean, shout out Caitlin. Shout out Caitlin. We appreciate her for this.
That was a really good response from Nalyssa Smith. She's not coming across as someone who is jealous of what's going on. She loves what she's seen out there. And as you heard from her, we've been hoping for this situation for a very long time. And the Fever have been going through this experience where crowds are selling out. And it's just fun to watch for the Fever because, again, the players this season aren't having these Twitter hands where they're online saying that, oh, Caitlin Clark didn't really play well tonight, and they're not doing any cryptic messages. They're just going out there and playing basketball. I haven't heard any drama from any of the players. The main talking points has been about Chrissy Sides and Lynn Dunn. When it comes to Chrissy Sides, her coaching has been questionable at times, where she has Erica Wheeler out there for a little bit longer than you would expect. And Caitlin Clark is on the bench, and all of a sudden, the team comes back. You have Kelsey Mitchell out there playing hero ball. You don't take her to the side and say, hey, let Caitlin Clark run her offense. There's also been times where Caitlin Clark stands in the corner, is not running anything to set up a play for Aaliyah Boston or Kelsey Mitchell. The other thing you look at is the choices she's made with her rotations when it comes to Grace Berger. Last year, she was the 7th draft pick in the first round. This year, she's not getting any playing time. And look, Erica Wheeler is a solid vet, but Grace Berger is taller and has a longer wingspan. And she's not getting any playing time whatsoever. That doesn't make any sense to me. Obviously, Erica Wheeler and Christy Wallace have a higher salary, but when you look at a young talent that you're trying to develop, she needs more playing time so she has more experience and she can have an opportunity to showcase her skills. But to not play her at all when you need a backup point guard to give Caitlin Clark some rest, it doesn't make any sense. You look at the decisions Chrissy Sides made with Nalyssa Smith playing in the fourth quarter in clutch situations when you should play Fag Bentley more often, when you should play Adontis more often, because I think Nalyssa Smith, she's good at times, but she's also very inconsistent. But you still elect to play her in those situations, and it doesn't make any sense. And then when you look at Lynn Dunn, you ask yourself, okay, are you going to find another wing to help out Lexi Hall and to help out that defense? Because Caitlin Clark isn't there yet defensively. Kelsey Mitchell is more of an offensive player, and they lack more size around the perimeter. So it just doesn't make sense for Lynn Dunn to go into this next offseason and say, you know what, I'm going to keep the same roster because we're going to be just fine. No, that would be ridiculous. So those have been the main talking points for the Fever this season. So I'm not seeing the players create any drama. I'm not saying it's perfect. I'm sure they've had moments, especially when they were 1-8. I'm sure there were some hard conversations being had, but they've figured things out. And it's just good to see a teammate praising Caitlin Clark because it debunks the rumors going around with Sheryl Swoopes saying that, yeah, you know what? They've got some locker room issues. And I'm like, you have no proof whatsoever. Does this look like a team that has locker room problems going on? They had little experience. They had to deal with the media attention and scrutiny. Teams would have folded at 2-9 where they were 1-8. They would have given up and said, you know what, the season's over. But they were 19-12 after that rough start. That's pretty impressive to me. Look at how they're reacting to the bench getting more minutes because obviously they were resting for the playoffs. Having a good time. They're engaged with their bench. They're coaching them up, encouraging them, having fun out there. Look at that. There's no locker room problems going on. Again, I'm not saying every team is perfect. I'm sure they have situations they got to handle behind the scenes, but you don't see it coming out publicly. This is just another case of reaching for something that does not exist whatsoever. You're trying to start a rumor that isn't true. And again, I'm not saying it's perfect, but the Fever have turned things around. And no matter what happens in the playoffs, they've exceeded all expectations. Hope you guys enjoyed this video today. Just love to hear your thoughts on these rumors that go around from people like Sheryl Swoopes saying that the locker room has problems. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you in the next one.